Hey guys, thanks for watching. We are going to be talking about how do you recruit leaders. I remember when I was an intern and I'm going into my first youth pastor position, and I was like, well, I'm just going to do everything on my own. I'm going to set up the chairs. I'm going to be the sound guy. I'm going to preach. It's going to be awesome. And then you actually get into it and realize, oh my gosh, I need help. And so how do you go about getting help? How do you recruit people, and not just bodies, but how do you recruit true actual leaders that are going to help you be on your team? And that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. And you think about it, when a college scout is sitting in a player they're trying to recruit, they're sitting in their living room with their parents and the player, and they're not just communicating, hey, you're going to come, you'd be awesome to come play for us, and this is what you're going to do on the team. They're also communicating, hey, you're going to be a better person if you attend our college. You're going to grow as an adult. You're going to learn so many things in classes, and this is going to set you up for life, right? They're not just communicating what they want out of the player. They're communicating an overall experience, a life experience that they're going to get. And so when you're communicating to a leader you're trying to recruit, you got to communicate the same types of things. What are they going to get out of this? How are they going to be a better Christ follower? How are they going to be a better leader? How are they going to be a better Christian by volunteering, by being a leader for you? And so that's kind of what we have to communicate. And when I say leaders, I mean leaders, not bad leaders, not people who will suck the life out of your youth ministry, but good leaders who are going to actually add to your youth ministry. And good leaders want to be used. Good leaders want to be used. There's good leaders in your church right now who are waiting for an opportunity to be used by the church. Good leaders want to be used. Bad leaders are lazy, but good leaders actually can add things to your team, and they actually want to accomplish something. And so what you're looking for is good leaders. But how do you recruit a good leader? How do you stand there, and they might have so many other opportunities to volunteer in other areas? How do you win them over to your youth ministry? How do you get them to get motivated to come be a leader for you? And so I'm going to be talking about, here are 4 things to communicate to a leader that you are trying to recruit. Here's 4 things you're going to want to communicate to a leader you're trying to recruit. The first one is communicate vision. Communicate your vision for the youth ministry. Leaders want to hear about the vision. They want to know where you want to go. They want to know where you want to go. And as you're communicating the vision of the youth ministry, they will subconsciously put themselves in it and say, okay, where do I fit in the vision? How can I help this vision be accomplished? A good leader will put themselves inside the vision before you even ask them. They're going to start to think about, okay, what can I do to help make that vision happen? Or, hey, that vision really speaks to me. I really want to be a part of that. When you're communicating vision, you're inviting them to be a part of the vision. Good leaders are motivated by vision. Bad leaders are motivated by selfish ambition. That you want your leaders, you want a good leader to come because they're going to be motivated by your vision, motivated by the vision God has given you. The second thing that you want to communicate to a leader you're trying to recruit is communicate impact. Communicate impact. Humbly talk about the impact that the youth ministry is having in the community. Talk about the impact that the youth ministry is having with your students, and have testimonies ready. This is one thing that has helped me so much, that I'm constantly looking for testimonies from students. Just cool things that God has done in their life this week, or cool things that God did in their life in small groups on Wednesday night, or what they got out of the sermon series we were just in. I love hearing that stuff from students, but I use that as a tool to recruit leaders, to prove that we are making an impact, and use names, ages, grades, schools. Use as much detail as possible. The more detail you use, the more a good leader will say, wow, he's actually, or she's really involved in these students' lives. She really knows. He really knows their students, and since he knows them really well, or she knows them really well, that means he's going to know me, or she's going to know me really well. You're communicating. The more details you can have, the more you're communicating that you actually care and that you're paying attention. Talk about the main pillars of the youth ministry. You know, for us, it's the main pillars are outreaches, camps, services, and small groups. I mean, those are our main pillars of our youth ministry. And so I talk about those main pillars. I talk about how they can be involved in those pillars. We give them a picture of what a year would look like. Hey, this is a quick schedule for the year. We got an outreach coming up. We have an outreach a couple months after that. Then we have summer camp, and kind of talk about the role that they would play as a leader in those outreaches, the role they would play as a leader at camp, and it kind of helps get them, okay, man, I really want to be involved with that. Man, I really want to go to camp. So if I have to be a leader in order to go to camp, I'm going to be a leader, right? So you never know what's going to motivate a person, and what you're doing is you're saying, hey, look what you can be a part of. Look at the opportunity that you have to be a part of what God is doing through outreaches, through our small groups, through our services, and through camp. And what you're doing, you're subconsciously communicating, hey, you could be involved in this if you become a leader. The third thing that you want to communicate to someone is communicate purpose. Purpose. What is the purpose of your youth ministry? Communicate the role that they could have. What is their purpose in your youth ministry? Communicate the role that they could have. And good leaders don't want to stand around. They don't want to be bodies in a room, right? They want to have a purpose. They want to actually be doing something. They don't want to just come and police teenagers. They want to actually have an impact on teenagers. And that's why small groups are such an important part of what you guys do, and that you're giving your leaders opportunity to lead small groups, because that is a huge win for a good leader. They feel like they're actually investing into the next generation. They're not just telling them to be quiet during service. So it's huge that you communicate this would be your purpose if you decided to become a leader. Good leaders want to be used. They want to actually be a leader. Have them jumping on announcements, or do offering, or do like a worship transition, or get them involved in your services. Make them feel a part of them actually having an impact, because if a good leader comes for a couple months and they don't feel used, then you will lose them. And so get them involved as much as humanly possible, and communicate the purpose, communicate the opportunities that they could have. And you can do all of this in just a short conversation. And the fourth and final thing you want to communicate to someone you're trying to recruit is communicate their personal growth. How are they going to grow personally? And you never know who you're going to talk to, right? That you never know the type of leader that you are talking to. They could be a stay-at-home mom and be the most amazing leader that you have. They could be leading a Fortune 500 company and they want to be involved in youth. They could run multiple businesses and they want to be involved in youth. You never know the type of leader that you have, and so you never know who you're talking to. And sometimes the people that seem most impressive, they maybe have all the outside attributes that you're looking for. They might be a young adult, and they dress cool, and they're a kid magnet, and they might seem impressive, but you know what? Most likely you're going to run into most of your issues with that type of person, because they're not going. Sometimes those people don't go into it with the attitude of I want to impact kids. They want to go into the attitude of, hey, what can I get out of it? Now, one thing that you want to communicate to someone you're trying to recruit is, hey, you will grow personally. You will get something out of it. It's not why you should volunteer, but it will be a benefit of you volunteering, is that you are going to grow as a leader. Over communicate how they're going to grow as a person. Me communicating that I've been able to recruit certain people because I communicate, hey, I'm actually investing into your life. That once a month we meet together, that I do a leadership lesson with you, that I grow and develop you, not just as a youth leader, but as a Christian, that I am your pastor, that you have relational priority with me, that no matter when, no matter what, you have access to me. When you communicate how involved you want to be in them as a leader and as a Christian, then that can win people over very easily. I mean, there's some amazing leaders out there in your church who are just looking for someone to invest into them. And no matter what means that they have to go through to get investment, they will. They might just become a leader because they want you to invest into them. What a great opportunity for you to invest in them as a Christian, to develop them as a youth leader. And I guarantee they're going to fall in love with being a leader. But there's some people out there who are just looking for someone to pour into them. And you could be that person. There is a flat line standard that God has called us to, and we cannot fall short of that. And when I say, when we talk about recruiting leaders, I think one thing I'll definitely add on to the end of this is that it's so important for you, youth pastor, to have a certain set of standards that your leaders abide by, that they're written out. It's on paper. You give them a packet of standards that you must live life this way, that you cannot drink, you cannot smoke, you can't go to parties, you got to be careful what you post on social media, that your social media is accountable. And you have to have certain rules and standards, because your leaders are leading students, that your students are looking to your leader's lifestyle and they are reflecting that lifestyle, just like they're reflecting your lifestyle. So it's so important that you're not just recruiting good leaders, but you're recruiting good Christians, that you're recruiting people who actually love Jesus. And so I would really encourage you to get some sort of process into onboarding a new leader, whether that's giving them a packet straight off the bat, just saying, hey, here's our standards, here's how we want you to live, and then, hey, I'm going to sit and meet with you one-on-one, have an interview. I do it. I have a one-on-one interview with every single leader or every single person who wants to become a leader. It's so important for me to have a face-to-face conversation with someone, hearing what God has done in their life, hearing their testimony. Just by hearing that stuff, you can tell how far along the line they are in their walk with Jesus, or how good of a leader they're going to be, or what areas they need help in, or what areas you're going to need to watch them in. And you know what? I've said no to a lot of people. I've said, hey, maybe this isn't the best area for you to serve in the church, because God has given us standards as youth pastors. We have to protect our students. And so I would encourage you to have a certain set standard, and do not falter from it. Do not say, oh, well, this person's awesome. They might not exactly live up to the standard, but I'm just going to let them do it. Don't do that. You do not want to do that. You will regret it. And I've said no to a lot of amazing people who have found other places in the church to go and serve, and they fit really well there. But I will never, ever, ever settle when it comes to my leaders hitting the standard that I feel like God wants them to live. And so, guys, I hope this has helped you in how to recruit leaders. If you guys have any questions, please contact the network. You follow me on social media, or shoot me an email at bwood@dreamcitychurch.us. Love you guys.